tiling work? This video has a great cocktail of tips for working with different types of tiles. And yes, I will speed up the video as much as possible to save you time and show as much as possible. Enjoy the journey, and let's begin. As you can see, a measuring tape is not always the best solution. So first, I will show you different ways to achieve accurate measurements. Let's call the first part the best solutions to get accurate measurements. As in this case, when the shapes of the sinks are very unusual, copying is the best solution. In good quality bathrooms, the floor should be sloped so that all the water runs to the drain. So you might think that it is difficult to measure first row of tiles if the floor is not exactly level. No, this mirror-like measuring technology always gives an accurate result. And this is my most used technology in many cases, not only on walls, but also on floors. Unfortunately, I don't have any samples right now to show you how I use this technology on the floor, but in one of the next videos, I will definitely show you. In this episode, I'll show you a technology I invented when large format tiles first appeared in the world, and I was one of the first tilers to start working with them. Tiles are expensive, and cutting to exact dimensions is key to not damaging them. How can you take measurements when there are so many details, and you also have to be accurate to the millimeter from the sloping floor and ceiling? There is a solution: my secret and super precise technology. A stencil is needed, and if you don't have a large sheet of cardboard, then this is the best way to glue together small sheets to get a large and monolithic stencil. And this is how you can stick a stencil to the wall using gaffer tape. As you can see, the holes in the stencil are not precise, and it doesn't need to be. Also, there is about 2 to 3 centimeters of space between the floor, ceiling, and the stencil. There is no need to be precise at this point. The laser beam is installed where the edge of the tile should be, like in this case, right in the middle of the cabinet. And now the copying process can begin. I will copy the lines from all the elements onto the stencil. For accurate results, you need to use a very sharp pencil. Copy the floor slope onto the stencil. The distance between the floor and the line on the stencil will be exactly the width of the spirit level. I marked the laser line on the stencil. This line is very important. I also used a spirit level to copy the lines from the cabinet onto the stencil. Then later, I will copy the ceiling line on the stencil in the same way. I also marked on the stencil all the places where I would need to drill holes in the tile. And it is not necessary for the lines to be exactly level. This way, the work gets done very quickly. Okay, once all the elements have been copied to the stencil, you can move the stencil to the tile, but check again to make sure all the elements have been copied. I aligned the laser beam marks with the edge of the tile. Then, I'll stick the stencil to the tile with the same gaffer tape. And then I'll paste all the lines from the stencil onto the tile. In this way, I have very accurately copied the entire wall from floor to ceiling with all the elements, and pasted it all onto the tile. The lines show how big the holes should be drilled. All that's left to do is drill everything, cut off the unnecessary parts, and glue the entire tile on the wall. For more information on how to work with extra-large tiles, watch my video, Extra Large Tiles. But now let's move on to the next episode. And what if you need to copy an element of a non-standard shape? It's simple. Maskering's tape will help. And this is how you can take measurements if you need to be precise and the wall is crooked. It is almost impossible to work with complex elements without a stencil. You have already seen how to glue a stencil to the wall, only in this case the hexagon tiles are copied onto the stencil. And then the stencil will be placed on large tiles, and a special shape will have to be cut out of the large tiles. You can't just start tiling from the floor. You should always take measurements and find the best tile layout before starting work. By laying tiles like this with spacers, you will always get the most accurate result, because you cannot trust the dimensions written on the tile packaging. This bathroom has many elements that are important when it comes to tiling: the window, the toilet frame, the door. You have to be careful before tiling and take accurate measurements so that everything looks great in the end. Okay, let's continue with the next episode. I found the formula for the best subway tile layout. One night on my way home from work, I was listening and watching a draft of the video. Then I realized that this is actually a music video that should be listened to in the car at maximum volume. Try. More music, less talking. But if you don't understand something from the information in this episode, write in the comments. I'll try to answer.
Very fast with these measures. Watch carefully right now. Okay, the moment I'm gonna show the formula, how you must calculate layout of the tiles. Here gonna be one wall, here gonna be another wall, and between these two walls, just like example, length of the tiles, it doesn't matter. Formula work for all length of the tiles. In this case, we're gonna look like, for example, 33 centimeter, 33, and 7, 8, 7. Okay, 37. So that means all length from the wall to the wall is 1 meter and 5. 7, right? No, 6. 1 meter and 6 centimeters. What we need to do? In this case, here of course it is spacer between tiles, but I'm gonna show you basic way how to calculate, and the thickness of spacers you can take off when you find out how the principle works. So in the beginning you must take this measure and this measure together. So we say 33 plus 7, that's 40. From this measure, second, you must minus half a part of the tiles. 33, if you say 33, that is 16.5. 16.5, 23.5. Again, this measure is a half measure of the tile. Half. You can add spacers. Basic idea. Next, 23.5. You must split in 2. That is 11.75. Great. And this is one measure, what we need. Another measure is 11.75 plus, again, half part of tile, plus 16.5. Plus 16.5, and we get 28.25. Right. So, the layout in this case gonna be such like this. 11.75, 33 full tile, 33 full tile, and in the end 28.25. If you think I'm wrong, then we calculate all together. 0.75 plus 33 plus 33 plus 28.25, and we get 1.6 m. And next, same measure, 28.25 gonna be here. 28.25 gonna be here. And what is most important as layout, keep going straight in the middle of the tile, because as you remember, 11.75 plus half of length of the tile, 16.5, we get 28.25. So that means layout again gonna be 11.75.
Well, right now, I'll show you how it happens in real life with real tiles, but we'll listen to the music.
Guys, use this principle calculation and share with all tiles what you know.
Different ways to cut and break tiles. All large format tiles are easy to break if you lift them lightly and let them break from impact, or even the cleanest break from a slap of the hand. And this is a classic technology with a tile breaker when you need to break off smaller pieces. You can also break tiles vertically with a tile breaker.
Would you feel better if I said that this touch could last forever? Every moment I'm with you feels like heaven. If I said this is love, would you feel better?
When working with smaller and harder tiles, the load must be distributed on both sides when breaking, then they will break beautifully. I don't really use a water tile cutter. The small Sigma and the large Raimondi razor allow me to work with tiles of any size. Dry cuts are much more precise and also a cleaner job, as you just saw, but there have been a couple of cases where I have used water with the Raimondi razor as well, like in this case when the natural stone is thick. Okay, enough about cutting and breaking. Let's move on to the next topic. Tiling. What to do if the tiles or natural stone have different thickness and none of the leveling systems does not work? I found that half plus half is 1. 1/2 part of leveling system lifts the thin tile, the other half part does not allow thin tile rise too much. Try it yourself, such way you get best of the best result. I'm actually a lazy person. I'm always looking for solutions to make less work and at the same time get a better result. In this case, I make a stencil from drywall in 5 minutes, which will save a couple of hours of work. The stencil has a perfect right angle, precise spacing, and will instantly produce a large tile from small tiles. You won't need to level each small tile on the wall, and the distances between the small tiles will be perfect, because the stencil prevents mistakes. There are specially prepared tiles for the corners, and I place them first in the stencil. And if you want to win a tool that cuts a 45-degree angle like this, watch my video, giveaway every month during 2025. I use 1.5mm spacers in the Raimondi RLS Vite 1mm leveling system. It's expensive, and I think I'm the only one in Oslo who uses it. At least, that's what the salesman tells me, but it's a really good system. Easy to work with, and I hope Raimondi sees this video and sends me a couple of boxes. The floor is of course with slope, but we know how to measure correctly with the mirror technique, and I can cut off the entire row with one shot. And then the easy part remains: tiling work. If we're talking about small tiles, one of my best inventions is to glue small tiles onto Wedi sheets and then work with a whole sheet. I don't want to go into detail in this episode because you can find full instructions on how to use this technology in my video, Amazing Invention in Construction, First Collection. I highly recommend watching it. Factories often produce poor quality mosaics. To be more precise, it is very rare to see a good quality product. Therefore, to achieve the best result, mosaic tiles should not be glued one on top of the other. The simplest solution is a brick wall layout. If the mosaic chips are small, then you can use the layout you see in the small video on the left, That's a little bit more difficult to do, but result after grouting is simply the best. Tiling with a rope is very effective when the tiles are small and irregular in shape. If working with spacers takes too long time, then this is one of the indicators that you should try working with a rope. After a few rows, I managed to get the lines straight with the help of a level and a rubber mallet. Tiling the floor in small bathrooms. Pay attention that from the beginning I place the spirit levels at the line where the whole tiles must begin, and so that they do not move, I fix them with heavy tile packs. Then I started dry layout, and the spirit level is the perfect support for the tiles. You can also leave the level and start tiling from it, but in this case I prepared the tiles for the entire floor. Pay attention, one row of tiles is fixed with masking tape. I remove the prepared tiles up to the fixed row and start tiling. And once the first two rows are tiled, I can continue tiling the rest of the floor. You might think that this tiling technology takes a lot of time, but it doesn't. In fact, it's faster and cleaner this way. Prepare tile ready. As we already know, the floor in good bathrooms has a slope. And to start tiling small tiles on the wall, such a support plane made of plasterboard is a good solution. Masking tape on the edge. 4 mm or less Tyler Throwel for small tiles. After applying the tile glue, I remove the masking tape, and the drywall edge is clean so I can start tiling. With a rubber trowel pushing tiles, I get a smooth surface. For support, to keep sideline perfectly straight, I use spirit level and fix it with masking tape. I left the places where I need to drill holes in the tiles. I will do the tiling there later. To make the row of tiles straight, I screwed a piece of drywall underneath. Of course, the holes made by the screws will have to be treated with waterproofing later. I personally use silicone. The main thing here is not to ruin the waterproofing effect. And that way you can simply drill holes. Should be checked from time to time. I use a lighter to form the joints for this type of tile which has rounded edges. In this episode, the fastest way to tile a kitchen backsplash. From the beginning, I copy vertical lines and record heights. I place the tile in the right place and, based on the marked lines and heights, find the exact spot where I need to drill the holes. Are you surprised? I didn't use tile glue at all in this case. Kitchen backsplash tiles perform more decorative function, like a painting on the wall who is hanging on a single nail, and a few dots of mounting glue will hold the tiles in place for decades. I have been tiling this way for many years, and all my customers are very satisfied. And very happy customers are in the process of working because the work is done very quickly and very cleanly. Even the kitchen worktop can be left unprotected. And if we talk about tile glue, then you will find very detailed information on how much and how to use tile glue in my video Don't Buy This Product If. Don't be afraid to try, you will be very satisfied. And because I'll be applying silicone right after gluing, I'm using a piece of cardboard to level the tiles, which will stay down there and allow you to apply the silicone without any problems. I used silicone both around the perimeter and between the tiles. It looks much better using only silicone, because silicone and grout have different surface structures and the color is different anyway. Well, in one day, in a couple of hours, the work is done. Now let's look at a couple of little tips. If you touch the tile with an angle grinder while cutting, it will leave indelible marks. Masking tape will help in a simple way. Should I cut the mosaic with an angle grinder? By gluing several layers of masking tape, the mosaic turns into a monolithic piece and it is easy to work with. You need to cut the edge of the tile at a 45-degree angle. You can buy or win such a tool only from me. It is painted in the colors of the Ukrainian flag, and you can see my logo at the front of Tool. In my opinion, this is the best tool for cutting edges in 45. For more information about this tool, watch the video Jolly Bank. And if we are talking about working with a laser level, then a simple lightweight metal plate with holes is the best solution. Can be attached to any smooth surface with masking or gaffer tape, or screwed to other surfaces, and does not take up much space in the toolbox. You can believe me, an old tiler, when the tools are compact, the work goes faster because you only have to carry one box, not 10. And this is the way to get a super precise line on tiles when you need to polish the edge after cutting, or it's hard to draw on tiles, you can't see the pencil line, or the tiles are too smooth. This is the most precise line possible. You may have noticed that I use a lot of masking tape. Yes, it holds the tiles together. The spacers are even pressed between the tiles and prevent them from sliding apart on the tile adhesive during work. Masking tape is one of the most important assistants in tiling work. The best technology for tiling walls and corners. Watch this episode carefully. This is the best technology to tile slightly crooked walls and achieve perfect corners. Basically, I tile almost all walls this way. I find where the side walls stick out the most. From that point, then the thickness of the tiles plus the thickness of the tile glue. This type of technology is not only accurate, but also fast, because as you saw with the help of a support, it is easy to cut the tiles for the entire wall to the same length. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Don't know the time, I'm letting go. I wanna find someone to love. I feel alive, I think you know. We're getting down, we're getting low. We're getting down, we're getting low.
Well, there you have it, and such a terrible edge is prepared for the most perfect corner. Even a child would cut straighter, ha ha ha. Wedi boards are one of my favorite materials to work with in bathrooms. Very easy to cut, easy to glue with mounting glue, water resistant, available in various thicknesses. There are many cases where Wedi is just the fastest and best solution. I glue 20 or 30 millimeter thick sheets directly onto the toilet frame and to the wall in the case if I have to work with large tiles. If the tiles are small, as you have already seen, I first glue tiles onto the sheets, Then cut the tiles together with the sheet to the required size and glue large plates to the toilet frame with mounting glue. Pay attention to how I mark the places where I need to drill holes with the help of water.
Can't float with it, take the paper, rip it clean slate. Here we go, dropping like Geronimo, popping Tropicana flows, boats till we bubble up. Undercover, they don't know, running like Usain Bolt, swimming if I can't float with it, take the paper, rip it clean slate. Here we go, dropping like.
And as you can see, there is no additional construction on the wall. The entire box will be glued only with mounting glue. And you can believe me, the construction is very durable. To take measures, I just mark all on the place with knife and after with same knife cut plates. Then I mark the shape of the box on the wall and I can start gluing.
Running like Usain Bolt, running like Usain Bolt. Running like Usain Bolt, running like Usain Bolt.
"10 to 30 minutes, depending on the shape of the box, and the box is ready. 20mm Wedi is sufficient on the wall without additional load-bearing boards. And here I had an experimental project with customer consent. I had to build a staircase structure and then tile it. And as the main structural material, I decided to try Wedi boards. And no grout was used anywhere, only silicone. 30mm Wedi, the staircase structure was glued together very quickly. And the next day, I started tiling. As I said, in stitches just silicone. And it was also an experiment because everything is under the open sky. When I checked the stairs after a year, everything was fine. Now it's been 2 or 3 years, and there's been no bad news from the customer. The experiment continues. Let's see who will live longer, the stairs or me. And I want to tell those viewers who haven't seen my previous videos that I have a special technology for strengthening the legs of the toilet frame, as well as protecting customers in the event that something happens to the built-in toilet structure itself. Detailed information you will find in the video. Amazing Invention in Construction, First Collection. I have made a huge number of sinks and bathtubs from Wedi boards and tiles. There is nothing complicated in this process. I glue the structure from Wedi, then waterproofing, then tiling, and you have a custom-made sink, or bathtub, or shelf, or cabinet. I made the boxes from Wedi, and you might ask, why not glue the sinks only from tiles without all sorts of Wedi and waterproofing, if you can see so many sinks on the internet glued only from tiles with epoxy glue? Yes, there are many good epoxy adhesives, and tiles can actually be glued so strongly that you're more likely to break the tile itself than the place where it's glued. If you want to work with epoxy glue, then I would recommend Acme Color Bond. It is a diamond in this category. But remember that sinks glued with epoxy must have a double bottom, like this. Or like this. If the sink is glued monolithically with epoxy, then hot or cold water creates a shock effect only in one place of the sink, at the bottom, and there is a huge possibility that cracks may appear somewhere. Therefore, a double tile at the bottom is the solution in this case. But if you want a guarantee, then use Wedi, waterproofing, and a good tile glue. Some time ago, a salesman from a very good tile shop sent me some photos asking why the sink was broken. He had sold the tiles, some unknown tiler had made the sink, and after a few months, the sink was broken. So, who do you think is to blame in this case? The tiles or the tiler? I think now you knew the right answer. But we'll listen to this song and move on to the next episode.
With a new fit like I am Gia. Got the it bitch in my new crib like sorry, Zach Bia. On the west side for some new dick. Maria. Got 3 toys and they all boys and they call me mommy. Yeah, I look good 24/7. 24/7. All your 10s, I'm in 11. I'm in 11. Wanna know how? I don't be stressing. I don't be stressing. Cause I look good 24/7. I'm hot 24/7. I walk in, dudes be like, ooh, she's stunning. I stay so fucking fit, not from running. This walk got a line down the block of dudes who wanna check my plumbing. I'm a wet dream, spring fling queen. You're at home coming. I look good 24/7. 24/7. All y'all 10s, I'm in 11. I'm in 11. Wanna know how? I don't be stressing. I don't be stressing. Cause I look good 24/7. I'm hot 24/7. I look good 24/7. 24/7. All y'all 10s, I'm in 11. I'm in 11. Wanna know how? I don't be stressing. I don't be stressing. Cause I look good 24/7. I'm hot 24/7.
Guys, I'm way fucking hotter than you. Like, you're hot, but not like me. Hello. Bye.
How much can a tiler do if the tiles are crooked? Like in this case, if one tile is bent it one direction, second tile bend it opposite direction. Actually, tiler can do a lot. By using a lot of leveling systems pieces, it is possible to bend even thick tiles. To prevent the leveling system from breaking, you must screw evenly along the entire length, tightening it more and more tightly. And here is the best possible result. Of course, it is very important to use good quality and flexible tile glue when gluing such tiles. And now, let's see how it works in real life. Yes, I've done my best, but to make you understand how crooked the tiles really are sometimes, let's use light. It is important to ensure that the transition between the tiles is not noticeable, but you will never feel that the tiles themselves are crooked. But it is also possible to bend the tile if necessary, as you can see in this example. How I specially bent a huge tile to the size of the entire floor. Watch the video, Extra Large Tiles. Actually, all about work with extra large tiles you can find in that video. Here, I will show you how to quickly create a hidden inspection hatch on magnets. There's so much more information I want to share with you, I think I'll have to make another video. Write in the comments what kind of work you want to see. But that's enough for now. See you next time.